The floor is yours now. I hope we still have you. So now you now have the floor now just to round things off for us and the things that you might have not have been able to get across. So you get them across now. Black League, ladies and gentlemen, Black League, the floor is yours.
Sure. Thank you, one man. Well, I think we as Nigerians must come together and know our power and also know our position in world politics. We are potentially the most important country in the world, not just the most important, we are potentially the richest country in the world. The sooner the people stop thinking like they're oppressors, the better it will be for the whole country. And what do I mean thinking like they're oppressors? The oppressors have a plan. The plan is to divide and conquer. That's exactly what the people are doing too. The people are so divided while they're more similar than they think. We all have the same aspirations, no matter what ethnic group no matter what ethnic nationality you belong to. Pardon me for saying ethnic group. I got that from the Nigerian media, and we all need to do better with even calling ourselves ethnic groups. We are ethnic nationalities. I'll give you an instance with the Yorubas in the excess of 20, 30 million people. Well, the Scots, probably about 5 million people, but they're a nation. They call them an ethnic nationality. So how can you call a group of not even up to 5 million people a nationality and us is ethnic groups? No, we are ethnic nationalities put together to form one nation. The sooner we build that nation, the better it will be for us, for the generations to come, and for the entire African world, not just within Africa. All the people of African descent are really looking up to Nigeria, including the Black Americans. Once Nigeria gets it right, the whole African world gets it right. So we are in a point where it's really up to us because we're looking up to our oppressors to come be the saviors of the day. We're looking to the same people who destroyed everything we have to come fix it. Where does it happen? Where does the person in power just graciously says, oh, I'm relinquishing power and y'all can come have it now? No. The number one law of power is there is never a vacuum. If you refuse to be involved, you will be naturally excluded. It's not even tribalism, as we like to call it. It's just laws of life and laws of power. There is never a vacuum in power. So as I was saying earlier, just to emphasize on the point, all oppressed people have one formula to come off oppression. Number one, identify your similarities. Number two, build an economy. Trade with one another. It doesn't matter how poor you are. If you have a billion poor people, trust me, you got rich people. There's no such thing as a billion poor people, or in Nigeria's case, 200 million poor people. There's no such thing. Because if we're all poor, how come we eat every day? We wear clothes, we go to markets, we have weddings, we have photographers, we have an economy. We just need to control it, where the money is controlled by us. After we've built that economy, we need to own real estate. That means land. Nothing happens without land. You cannot go fighting for a place where you own no land in. It doesn't make sense anywhere in the world. Africa is no exception. You cannot fight for something that is not really rightfully yours. You could say all you want, oh, my forefathers lived there, blah, 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 blah. Go to the government records. They have the list of all the landowners, all of them. Where does your name reflect on that list? If your name is not there, then you have nothing to fight for. It's the landowners that are actually in the conversation, not you. So for you to even have any form of progress, you need land. So that's what we do with the money that we amass from trading with one another. After we own that land, and the businesses on that land and our houses on that land, we need to go into politics. How do you go into politics? You either have your own politicians represent you. When you get your own politicians, there are two things. If you don't have them readily available, you buy them. If you cannot buy them, you rent them. That's what happens everywhere in the world, including the developed West that we all crave to be like. Here, every group, how do the Asian Americans work? How do the Jewish Americans work? After they've taken all these processes, they buy or rent politicians. What do the politicians do for you? The politicians are at the center of everything you do in the world. It's through politicians you even get a constitution. What is a constitution? The best way I could describe a constitution is, if you're a Christian, what the Bible is to your spiritual life, that's what the constitution is to your physical life. The constitution can determine whether you'll be dead tomorrow or not, and would determine what cause of action would follow your death, whether the courts will do anything about it or not. It's all in the constitution. That's why politics is important. Is it determines your life. It determines whether you're going to be breathing or not. It's going to determine where your kids will go to school and determine how much they will pay as school fees or tuition. It's going to determine what markets you will go to, or if you would even have markets at all. It's going to determine where you're going to live, or if you're even going to live at all. It's at the center of everything you do. Politics, even in your own home. For you to get something within siblings, that you have to do some politicking. For you to get what's rightfully yours. If not, your father could go buy phones for the other siblings and not buy you a phone. You have to do some politicking and say, hey, I'm part of this too. You got it for this. That's all what politics is. If you do not get politics right, that means you cannot secure what you own. Any group of people that cannot secure what they own do not deserve it to begin with. If I own a house and I cannot protect that house, I do not own it. Somebody could come take it from me at any time. Somebody who needs it more than I do. There is never a vacuum in power. So I think as people, we all know what the problems are. And I've enumerated the solutions from what I've observed and seen from all oppressed groups of people in the world. They've all followed this formula and it's worked successfully. So to summarize my point, the solution is we all need to unite, get our economy right together. I'm not talking about waiting on the government to do anything. No, the people have the power. The politicians put together are not up to 5,000. The whole of the National Assembly is not up to 500 people. The executive is not even half of that. So all in total, you're not even getting up to 1,000 people who control the fate of 200 million people. They cannot control the economy, but we can. We got the number. Numbers is everything in politics. So the moment we realize that, come together, make the economy work for us, use that money to actually own land so that our agitation can even have a basis. Yes, we own land. That's why we're agitating to protect what we already have and own. If we do not get this right, history would repeat itself. Africa will be colonized yet again. We went out of the initial colonization that lasted, colonization and slavery that lasted 400 years. It could happen again. And with history, if you look at the patterns in history, it has shown that the people who do not learn from the mistakes made in history are bound to repeat the same mistakes. We are already repeating the same mistake. And I just hope that because we have the power to turn the trajectory of Nigeria, and to add to that, we could change the trajectory of the whole world if we get our acts together, which we're very capable of. Thank you,
All
one.
right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Black League. Well articulated. Usually, I interrupt people a lot, but I was enthralled by the way you are presenting it as much as everyone else that I couldn't even think to interject. So, Black League, thanks for your company. First time here, hopefully not the last time here, because as you can tell, people are looking to hear more from you. Thank you, Black League. So that was Black League. I'm not even going to embellish or anything. You've heard the man present himself, and you've heard everyone else present themselves too. So the mix that is usually what you get here, one man went to Mo. You heard Ovie, you heard Ola, you heard Ajanle Koko, and all the voices in between. Ego chimed in. We couldn't get Professor Data O in. A lot of comments from the comment section, and it has been a session. So the session here ends here, but the conversation does not. The conversation carries on in the comment section where I will join you to engage. So I'll leave you here. Carry the conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.